Thank you for the bye week. Coming up on this edition of the Die Hard Den podcast, Seany J and I look at the Lions' performance versus the Saints. Then we play our favorite game, Hell Yeah or Hell Naw, and we state our case about if the Lions should sign Jabbar Sherrod. Finally, we take a look at Dan Orlovsky's comments about Matt Patricia. All this and more coming up right now on the Die Hard Den podcast. Watch out. Here comes that roar. What up, though? This is Kurt Steele, and welcome to the Die Hard Den podcast. And as always, you know, I'm with my man, Seany J.
Hello, good people. How are you out there?
Hey, my man. It is good to have you on. How have you been doing? How's your week going? You know, we had a tough loss, but how's everything with you?
Well, everything's going well with me. My father's in the hospital, but thank God he's doing well. I'm doing well. You know, I'm a hard-working man. You know, we're kind of outside the radio podcast, but hey, I always got to make time for the Die Hard Den podcast.
You know it. Hey, so you know how we do it, as we always do it this time, but real quick, thank you for watching the Die Hard Den podcast on Twitter, on Facebook. Thank you for the downloads. If you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, we appreciate you hitting that download button, listening in. Hey, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and thank you so much for listening in and taking in our content right here at the Die Hard Den podcast. So, Seany J, like we always do at this time, you know what to do, my man. Tell me something good.
Well, after another bad loss against the Saints, where we jumped out quickly, 14-0, but get 35 straight points before making it interesting near the end to score close. Mm-hmm. It's the bye week, and we need this bye week. You know, I think the bye is coming at a perfect time for the Lions. The rest of their bodies, maybe get a couple guys who are hurting, healed up, and ready strong. I'm not giving up on the season. I know we're 1-3, but I'm still not giving up. There's still a lot of football left. This is the time where, you know, Patricia, he made some kind of whack statements after the game, but he has to say that, because what's going to say, oh, I'm going to lose, I'm defeated, I can't coach his team. No, he has to still sound confident, even if it does sound
we'll get on that later, man. All right.
But wait, but let me say real quick, now's the time for Patricia to work on his scheme, get his coaches, his head scheme, work on his scheme, figure out a way how to not just get a lead, but keep a lead and finish the game.
Okay.
So that's what we need to do over this bye week.
All right. So, all right, my man, that's Seany J. For me, want to tell me something good? It has to do with me actually joining another show. I'm going to stay on the Die Hard Den podcast. Me and Seany J aren't going anywhere. But you can also check me out on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And I'm the newest member of the Detroit Sports Alliance. So you can check me out on both of those platforms. They're on YouTube. They have Detroit Sports Alliance is a group of Detroit sports content creators. They have podcasts, YouTube. Check them out over there. It's DetroitSportsAlliance.com. And you can definitely check out me and my man Jim over at Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Seany J will definitely be on those platforms. So the Die Hard Den, as you know it, is not going anywhere. So now it is time to go on the ball. This week, we're looking at the Lions offense versus the Saints. All right, so looking at the Lions offense versus the Saints, Matthew Stafford was the leader on offense in the passing game, 17 of 31, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Adrian Peterson he led an abysmal running game, 11 carries for 36 yards. Kenny Galladay, solid 4 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. Not a lot of offense. 90 yards rushing, 191 passing, 281 for the game. Seany J, my man, let's talk about this right quick. The offense, man. I'm going to throw some things out. We're going to talk about it right quick. Stafford is struggling. He's making some bad throws, overthrows, underthrows. That interception when he was trying to get the ball to Hawkinson was totally underthrown. What's going on with Stafford? He is not playing well this year. That's not the Stafford that we know.
I don't know. Well, maybe, he's come off an injury. They say he was looking good in the brief mini camp we had before the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one thing that's affecting Stafford, a lot of lines, a lot of players around the league, was the lack of off-season workouts and a preseason. I think that's is certain Stafford a little bit, like he's come off injury. I guess we now see the importance, the value of preseason, and of course, obviously, all-season workouts. The COVID, the COVID pandemic kind of messed the whole world up, including the NFL. But like I said, over this bye, once again, the bye came at a great time. Every line player and coach needs to get their act together, use this bye week to get together, get their heads together, and figure out the way to win these games, the games this season.
Yeah, I would look at now one thing, and I was talking to someone else about this. It looks like he's not planting right when he's throwing, and it could be something to do with the injury he suffered in the Green Bay game. If you remember, Chase Daniel went to put his helmet on, and Stafford kind of shoot him off. If he's hurt, I understand him being hurt, but I don't understand some of the decision making. Not only is it some of the throws, but it's some of the decision making he's having back there. I hope he can get it together. The run game stalled mightily. 11 carries for 36. That's plus 3 yards a carry. That's we need better than that. They didn't exploit the matchups. One thing with New Orleans that they struggled covering the tight end, and we didn't exploit that matchup very well during the game. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of Hawkinson didn't have a great game. It wasn't where they exploited that matchup very well. They did exploit the matchup with DeAndre Swift out of the backfield, where it was some times where he caught some passes, like the touchdown at the beginning of the game. But I just don't think they did a good job. They didn't make really adjustments to what the defense would. A defense adjusted to the Lions, but the Lions didn't adjust to the Saints defense. If you understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. And once again, that's on our two coordinators, both Bevo and Undland. They were highly talented coordinators. I know you got to have the horses to play, but some people question their play calling, like you said, lack of adjustments during the game and at halftime. That's why we were helpless, 35 straight points by the Saints. We couldn't figure it out. I mean, we stopped, it got tough near the end, but by that point it was too late. I mean, we got to figure out how to play an entire 60 minutes and put the game away, keep your foot on the gas, proverbial saying goes. You jump out to a big lead, but then you lose it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be the downfall of Patricia. I mean, the 12, 13 games they made last year when his teams blew double-digit leads. I mean,
he's got 6 straight games with double-digit leads, and 11 games where he's led in the second half or the fourth quarter that the team has lost. Excuse me. Another thing I saw was poor clock management. Like, even when they were down, they weren't playing with a sense of urgency. Like, I think the whole second half they should have been in a hurry up mode. They were already down 3 touchdowns. So I mean, why aren't you playing with a sense of urgency? If you get me, like, it was just like they were just hemming and hawing. They were getting to the line. They were still huddling up. We know Matthew Stafford can run the 2-minute offense. He can run the hurry up. He can make those decisions. He can call those plays. That's his wheelhouse. He can do that. I mean, it's one of the guys who's led. He's one of the leaders in the league in comebacks, and that's all about running a 2-minute offense where he can run no huddle. He can make adjustments on the fly. He can read defenses. I don't think Patricia has been horrible at clock management since he's been in Detroit.
Very, very horrible.
Yeah, it's very bad. I don't get where he's he came over from New England as this touted as this defensive guru and defensive genius, and he's just the next level. He's the next big hot thing, and it's been disappointing. But we'll talk about him later on. So Hey, that's all I really got on the offense. Do you have anything else on the offense, man? That, I mean, it's not really a lot to talk about.
Once again, I say for the whole team, the offense, the defense, Patricia, Bevel, Unlin, all the coaches, they gotta, put their heads together. It's a bye week to get it right. Like I said, it came in a good time.
All right. So, all right. Thank you for listening in to the Die Hard Den podcast. Thank you for watching on YouTube, on Facebook. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hey, check us out. Go over to our Facebook page and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. Seany J does an amazing job of keeping you abreast of all the Lions news. Follow us on Twitter at DieHardDenPodC1. On Instagram at die_hard_den_podcast. If you listen to us on one of the podcast platforms, thank you for the download. We appreciate you listening in to the show. All right, so it is time to defend the den. Now, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Here are the defensive leaders for the game versus the Saints. Jamie Collins Sr. had 9 tackles total, 7 solo. Christian Jones had 7 total tackles with 6 solo. It was about the biggest thing we can have right there. Gave up a ton of yards, 228 yards passing, 164 receiving, almost 400 yards of total offense. And Alvin Kamara, he just killed us, man. He had over 100 yards of total offense, 83 yards in the rush game, 36 in the passing game, with a touchdown carry in the end zone in the second half. Excuse me. God, it's just tough, man. That defense played very, very rough on Sunday, my man. I just don't. The pass rush still pretty much non-existent. We didn't zone blitz like we did out there in Arizona. We sat back there and let Drew Brees pick us apart. You can't give a veteran quarterback like that type of time.
We did get 2 sacks on him. We predicted that, it's a hell no last week. We did get 2, Romeo Okora, who got a high grade. He played well. So did Shelton. He got 1 of the sacks, and Reggie Ragland got the other sack. So we got 2, but, Okora could have had a second sack on, but you see he let him go, let him get away. So it's grab. I mean, I hate that. You gotta finish the play. When you got a man in your grasp, bring him down, sack him, bring him to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like he spent so much of the game just kind of sitting back and playing zone where we weren't getting that pressure. I mean, I understand we got a couple sacks, but you have to keep that. You have to keep a quarterback like Drew Brees to beat him. You have to keep him pressured constantly.
And that's what I was saying last week. Remember,
and it just wasn't there. I mean, we got sacks, but it wasn't. The pass rush was still not what it needed to be. And
I agree.
I got what you're saying, because you have to keep a player like that. He's like Tom Brady. You have to keep pressure on him. You can't let him sit back there in the pocket. That dude will pick you apart. I mean, for real. And it was like kind of no rhyme or reason to the defensive scheme. They were like doing stuff where it didn't make any sense to what they were doing out there on the field. It just seemed like they were just out there. They just chose to play a defense. Okay, we're gonna play man, or we're gonna play zone, but you got players like Emmanuel Sanders. Well, he can just recognize zone. He just ran up and sat down in the zone and just was catching passes all over the place. The run defense, man. Talk about the run defense, Johnny, because I can't do it.
Well, there's not much to talk about. I mean, we can't stop nobody. I mean, we got a little tough at the end of the Saints game.
It was,
but still, I mean, the Saints pretty much did what they wanted. Every team ran. We played well, this year ran as run-ons. We got the 30th rushing defense in the NFL. They think Danny Shelton is playing good. He's not enough.
Well, my old self and my rod to my back, man, I could at least got 50 yards on the Lions defense. Man, I could have got 50 yards on them, man. And that's just it was, the holes were just huge. They had huge running lanes. And one thing, and this is the one thing I see with the Lions, man, and this has been a constant under Matt Patricia. They don't have fundamentals on defense. They don't tackle well. They don't wrap up. it's I don't get why the Lions defense is so bad to have a defensive minded head coach.
Right, and plus we got Unlin from Philadelphia, who's supposed to be so good. But once again, you gotta have the horses in the race to run the race with. You gotta have the players on the field.
Well,
So
I mean, well, here's the thing for me is that he has the guys. Bob Quinn gave Matt Patricia all the guys he wanted.
exactly.
So I don't understand why he got his horses that he wanted, but they're not producing. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, I don't get it. All right, so that's it for the defense, man. That's what can we say? We're not trying to harp on the negativity, but it just is what it is at this point.
We gotta talk about it. We can't stick our heads in the sand about it.
Nah, you gotta talk about it. You gotta talk about it. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Die Hard Den podcast. Like I said before, it's just a pleasure for us to bring you this content. If you're listening on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go over to our Facebook page and follow us. Like I said, Seany J keeps you informed on what's going on with the Lions over on our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at DieHardDenPodC1. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the notification button. Subscribe to our channel so you know you're getting fresh content from us right here at the Die Hard Den podcast. So it is time, my man. You know what time it is. It's time to play our favorite game. Hell yeah or hell nah. You ready to do it, my man?
Let's do it.
All right. First up on hell yeah or hell nah. Bob Quinn needs to be fired along with Matt Patricia. Hell yeah or hell nah?
Hell yeah. You can't fire one without firing the other. I mean, just Quinn, he was brought in to win, build a winner, as like Patricia was. Quinn got his coach. He wanted to give Caldwell, even though Lion fans, much of the night, they wanted Caldwell fired too. But Quinn came in, fired, got the guy he wanted, the guy who's supposed to be the genius, the guy who was overhyped a few years ago coming out of New England. I don't trust those New England players and coaches anymore. I mean, even Terry Bradshaw said it. When you get a new coach, don't go to New England. There's only one guy in New England can coach. That's Belichick.
Yeah.
So don't bother hiring an assistant.
Yeah.
So if one goes, you got to get rid of both of them. Package you, just like when they got rid of Martin Mayhew and Tom LeWine a couple years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. I would say hell yeah as well. All right. Next up on hell yeah or hell nah, Corey Unlin needs to take over the defense, not just call the plays. Hell yeah or hell no?
Hell yeah. I mean, you brought him in to run the defense, right? You're the coordinator. Now, there was some confusion. Lion fans, who's calling the defensive plays? Is it Patricia or is it Unlin? Mm-hmm. Unlin is your defensive coordinator. He's supposed to be so great. Everybody loved to hire back over the winter. Mm-hmm. So let the man do his job. I mean, let him give him full reign. And Patricia, you're the head coach. You keep the guys, That's what you got coordinators. You don't call the plays on offense and defense. You got assistant coaches for. So let the coordinators do their job. The same thing goes for Bevel. Mm-hmm. Let Bevel, like I said, all this buy. They got to come up with some new schemes. Give Bevel full ring over the offense. Give Unlin full ring over the defense, and let them do their jobs.
I say hell yeah as well. I think that he was more involved in the Arizona game, and you can see that Matt Patricia kind of put his stamp back on it versus the Saints. That's just my opinion. That's what I saw on the field when I looked at the R22. It looked like Matt Patricia was running the defense that game. All right, next up on hell yeah or hell nah, Sheila Ford Hemp needs to address the fan base about what's going on with the Lions right now. Hell yeah or hell nah?
Hell yeah, because she's looking just like her father. I mean, that's the team owner. I mean, when she was hired, not hired, but when Mom stepped down and passed the team on to Sheila, a lot of media pundits and like the move, they say Sheila, she said Detroit deserves better. Detroit deserves a winner. Mm-hmm. She promised to do better. She wouldn't be like her mom or her father. She'd be more aggressive approach. She will do everything Lions need to bring in a winner. But so far, she's been asking. Everybody wanted her to fire Patricia after the Packers game and definitely after the Saints game, but she's nowhere to be found. So, else needs to address. She needs to come forward this bye week too.
Yeah. Now she said when she got took over the head of the Lions as the principal owner, she said she was going to be more available to the media, and I haven't seen her address the media anytime in this season. Hopefully during the bye week she can get and address the fan base and tell us, what's her plan going forward. I mean, the fans want to hear from her. She said she would be available to the media, and she hasn't held up that end of the bargain. All right, next up, the Lions will play better in the second half of the season. Hell yeah or hell no?
I'm going to say hell yeah, because I'm not giving up. They have to. They can't. They can't play any worse than they did these first 4 games. Mm-hmm. And Patricia, like he's saying, every loss that mounts up, the pressure builds up. Thank God they won a game because we don't have to worry about going on 16 again. Mm-hmm. But Patricia, like I said, him, Unlin, Bevel, all the coaches got to work hard over his bye to put their heads together, build a scheme on both sides of the ball, special teams too, figure out what they have to do to win.
I'm actually going to say hell no. I'm not believe they're going to have to show me this time. They're not getting me for the low and the free this time. They broke my heart too many times, man. I can't do it. So I'm going to say hell no for right now. Now, I'm not saying I want them to lose. Don't get me wrong, man. I want them to win. I will always root and cheer for the Lions to win. But they're going to have to prove it to me this time.
Yes.
All right. So next up, there will be a fire sale on Lions players before the trade deadline. Hell yeah or hell.
Well, let me ask you this before I answer. How many games for the deadline? How many? 3?
I think 3.
When's the deadline? Well, if they lose all 3 or 2 or 3, I'm gonna go hell yeah. But they win the next 2 or all 3, I would say hell no. There won't be no fire sale. I'm hoping there won't be a fire sale because there goes another season wasted. I mean, a lot of fans are racing. Oh, just tank for the quarterback from Clemson, Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. I mean, but what if he comes in and disappoints you too? I mean, so there's no guarantee a new rookie quarterback. Just tank for Trevor Lawrence. Or the guy from Ohio State, Justin Fields, is it? Mm-hmm. I mean, just those guys don't come with no guarantees, and you'll be bullying them for the first 3 interception game. And when people say, "Well, he's a rookie," but you won them, so
right. I get you.
What you gonna do?
All right, so I'm gonna say hell yeah. They're gonna get rid of somebody. Someone's gonna have to go. I think my 2 players I think is gonna go are Jarrett Davis and Marvin Jones Jr. I don't think they make it. I don't think they play the rest of the season in Detroit. I think they're going to be gone. All right. So,
well, hope we get some more in this draft picks. Yeah. 5th round picks.
All right. So, last one. Darrell Bevell needs to take over as interim head coach after the bye week. Hell yeah or hell no?
Well, that means Patricia's going to be fired. And that's what people have been calling for as it is for Patricia to be fired after the Packers game and after the Saints game. Yeah, so that he's going to be fired within the next week. I'm going to say hell yeah because I don't know. I don't want to give up on the season. But Patricia, he lost 11 out of the last 12 games. I mean, he seems lost out there. He's not winning like, he's wanting to do. So I would like to say hell yeah and a change, shake things up. Don't throw away the season. Just don't all make a tank for Trevor Lawrence because who says Lawrence is going to take you? Remember, Stafford was the top pick. Mm-hmm. Who's supposed to take us to the promised land. Now Stafford's been a hell of a player. Mm-hmm. He's played hurt. He's been for a long time. Gave us some stability to the quarterback position, and fans been on him. But watch him go to the team he goes to. He went to Super Bowl, and once again, Lion fans will be looking stupid again.
Yeah. I'm going to say hell yeah as well. I'm just not sold on Patricia right now. It's just disheartening with the way that the team's going right now. But we're going to talk about him when we get into our 2 points conversing this week. But that is hell yeah or hell nah. Thank you for tuning in to the Die Hard Den podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the notification button on YouTube so you know when you're getting fresh content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Seany J does an amazing job of keeping you abreast of the Lions news on the platform. Hey, if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms, thank you for the download. We really appreciate it. And go over there and follow us on Twitter at DieHardDanPodC1. All right, we have a new segment, my man, coming up right now. We are going to play State Your Case. All right, so Seany J, my man, came up with this question this week. All right, this is our quick 2-minute debate segment where we're going to state our case. So, Seany J, you had the question. So, what's your question?
I ask, what can the Lions do to help the defense, and should they consider signing Jabbar Shear? Yes, he's another former Patriot that they brought in before the Saints game to workout. He wasn't signed, but maybe they were waiting to see him after the Saints game. They can use all the help on defense again for the pass rush and the run game. Now it's 5 weeks in, and usually you don't find any all pros on the streets this late in the season. But we can help with the passing game, put a pass rush on, help out Flowers and Cora, those other guys. He helped the run game. I'm all for it. Bring him in. He couldn't hurt.
Okay. So that's your case. You saying that you need to bring him in for the run and help bring him for the pass rush, right? So let me give you some. I'm gonna help you out with your argument. This is your argument. 2019, he had 25 tackles. He had 4.5 sacks, no forced fumbles. For his career, he is age 31. He's played for 3 teams. He played for Cleveland, New England, and last season Indianapolis. He had 387 career tackles, 51.5 career sacks, and for his career, he had 13 forced fumbles. So that's your guy. So you're saying that you want to bring him in to help the pass rush, right?
Yes, and the run if possible.
And the run if possible. Man, I am not sold on this guy. I tell you what, he is 31 years old. He's up there. I don't need another long in the tooth former Patriot. I have lost all faith in the former Patriots on the Lions. I'm not buying it, man. It's not for me right now. Jamie Collins had one good game, but the rest of the year he's playing out of position. He's just playing lackluster. Jerron Harmon, yeah, he's playing a solid season, but even Trey Flowers isn't having a great season. Where's the pass rush from him? I'm not sold on all these former Patriots. I'm done with this. I'm done with the Patriot way. They can have Jabbar Shear back on the Patriots because I don't want him in Detroit. I don't need another long in the tooth aging guy at the defensive end position. Just don't want it.
Well, it's right now. There's not really much out there Lions can do to help the defense, unless they can find another trade like for Snacks, who recently signed with Seattle. But you find another defensive tackle. Like I said, if you're going to trade Jared Davis or Jones, get a player that can help. Don't get no draft picks, 5th-round picks, who may never help.
Yeah, I would say definitely get a player who can play if you're gonna trade him. So hey, that states your case. I stated my case. I said I don't need that guy here in the Motown. Seany J says bring him in for the interim. Bring him in to help with the pass rush and maybe the run game. But hey, what you can do is drop us a comment in the link of this video and state your case if you think the Lions should sign Jabbar Shear. All right. So it is time to get into our 2 points conversing this week. All right. So Seany J alluded to this earlier, and we're going to really talk about this after the game on Sunday, right? I don't know where this is really arrogant for me, but Matt Patricia said that when he got to Detroit, he had a lot of work to do. He took over a 9-17. How can you be a losing coach and say that? So what we're going to do right now, and Seany J, I know you heard Glover Quinn and all these former players that were here for Caldwell had to say. But do you know who the biggest voice is right now? Is Dan Orlovsky, because he has the biggest platform, right? He's an ESPN analyst. So I'm going to play I'm going to play one soundbite, and then we're going to talk about it, and I'll play another soundbite. So the first soundbite is what Orlovsky had to say about the culture at the Lions when Jim Caldwell was here in Detroit.
To come in and say that you had a lot of work to do is completely false. It's a bunch of trash because that wasn't the case in Detroit. We were a good football team. Matthew Stafford was playing as good as he has in his career. That was because of Coach Caldwell. And we were an organization that was ascending. He was building. And you know what? Another thing, Z? Yeah. The culture was amazing.
All right. So, Seany J, basically what was said was my man said that you took over a 9-7 team. What was the big work you had to do? The team was ascending. You had winning seasons, 9-7, the last 2 seasons there in Detroit for Jim Caldwell. He said that was a very that he didn't like the statement at all. What do you think about him saying that he had a lot of work to do when he took over the Lions?
In a way, it was arrogant, like you said, but another way I can understand, he had to say it, so he seemed like he's still in control of the team. He said, "Well, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I messed
up." Watch it.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't say I'm a loser. I was over in on my head.
Yeah.
I should never think this job. He couldn't say things like that. He had to at least show confidence, even though it was, maybe delusional, but he had to at least show confidence. But the takeover.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The takeover 9-17. Okay. All right. So I got what you're saying. I don't agree with that. You can't come out and say something like I took over a lot of work to do and I took over a team and you're not winning. But let's play the second clip from Dan Orlovsky where he talks about the personal responsibility of Matt Patricia.
So what was the work that you say needed to get done? If you're going to tell me that the work was to win the games that were the big games versus the teams that were winners and win the big division championship, fine. If that's the work that you say you had to get done, I'll give you that. You failed at that. The truth is then that if that's the work, you have failed at that. And then don't start deflecting questions and saying, I'm only going to talk about now. Don't ask your players to be accountable to themselves if you can't do that as a head coach.
All right, my man. So Orlovsky said, hey, if you came in and said that I needed to win the big game, that's one thing, or I needed to win the division, but you just saying that you had a lot of work to do, we're not buying it. And then, this is typical Patricia, when asked a follow-up question the next day, he ducked it. He said, I don't want to talk about then, I want to talk about now. You can't make a statement saying that I had a lot of work to do, and then the next day, after everyone started blasting you in the media, you don't want to talk about what you said. I don't get that. That's a cop-out. He should have owned what he said, or at least explain himself, and then, let it ride where it is. Basically, Orlovsky said, how can you hold the players accountable if you're not accountable for what you said? You get what he's saying?
I get what he's saying. Yeah, I mean, this is another reason why this guy got to go. I mean, another Patriot coach, former Patriot, Bill O'Brien, got fired down in Houston after 0-4. He was probably the most successful former Patriot coach there was.
He was. Won some divisions down there in the AFC South. He had a very good track record down in Houston and was their general manager as well.
So what do you think? Real quick, I'll play devil's advocate. Will Quinn fire Patricia and hire O'Brien?
I hope the hell not. I hope not, man. I hope not. All right, my man. That was 2-point conversion this week. Good segment, my man. I think that Matt Patricia needs to be held accountable, and I think it's been going on too long where he hasn't been held accountable for what he's been doing in Detroit. So, all right, now it is time for us to go ahead and get on out of here. But before we do, we want to thank you again for listening in to the Die Hard Den podcast, watching us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, however you're watching the show. Thank you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content. Follow us over on Facebook. Seany J does an amazing job of keeping you abreast of what's going on. with the Lions over on our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hey, we appreciate you watching our show over there on YouTube. Hey, thank you again so much. If you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, thank you, thank you, thank you for the download. We appreciate your patronage. So, Seany J, tell people how they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Facebook. My name is Sean Jennings. You can give me a friend request. I'm also the head administrator of the Detroit Lions Truest fan page group. We're very good. I keep both that and our Die Hard Den page updated with Lions news. I hope you visit both our groups and pages. You want to become a member, please do. But you can find me on Facebook. I'm mainly on Facebook. I know Curtis all over social media, but I'm pretty much on Facebook.
Yeah. All right. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at Curtis Steele 14. You can follow the show definitely on www.facebook.com/Die Hard Den podcast. You can listen to us on many podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Wherever you can find the major podcast, the Die Hard Den is there. And we're over there on iHeartRadio as well. So thank you again for watching the show and listening in. We appreciate it. Seany J, what's your parting shot for the family out there for the Die Hard Den?
Don't give up on the season yet, people. Like I said, hopefully Sheila will get involved. She'll have a heart-to-heart with Matt. If she don't like here, get him out of here. And like I said, promote Bevel's interim head coach. Him and Unlin, let them run the show. That's what we're brought in to do. Run the offense, run the defense. Do your thing, but let's not give up on the season just yet, Lions fans.
Okay. All right. So for me, hey, it is very serious. COVID is still out there. Please protect yourself. Wear a mask. Wear some gloves. Use your hand sanitizer. Wash your hands. If you don't have to go out, please don't. But if you do, be safe, people. And whatever, ever you need to do in life, you got to remember, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. This is Kurt Steele for the Die Hard Den podcast. And for Seany J, we are